Now we know it was worse than even the worst predictions. Unprecedented and unthinkable. That's what the New Jersey Governor Chris Christie is calling the damage from the superstorm Sandy that slammed his state. And just look along the Jersey shore, or what was. Tonight, officials are blaming the storm for more than 36 deaths across the country and more than 8 million customers, not people. 8 million customers have no power, most of them in New York and New Jersey. Look at this map here. The damage from the monster storm extends as far west as Michigan. The blue areas are the flooding, the red is wind damage, and the white, that's snow, and lots of it. Parts of West Virginia have already gotten more than 2 feet of snow. The blizzard warnings are in effect in more than a dozen counties until tomorrow afternoon. New Jersey, of course, took the direct hit from Sandy just south of Atlantic City. Officials say the casinos are okay, but the storm washed away part of the boardwalk there and in other towns along the Jersey shore. Farther north, just outside New York City, emergency workers are using boats to rescue hundreds upon hundreds of people from homes that are still underwater. Governor Christie says it could take months for New Jersey to recover.
I know that many people in our state woke up today to absolute devastation. It is beyond anything I thought I'd ever see. I anticipated last night, given the nature of the winds and the rain, would be pretty bad. I didn't expect it to be that bad.
Frankly, no one did. The governor says the PATH commuter trains that run between New York and New Jersey bring all those people to work will be out of service for at least 7 to 10 days. You can see why. Floodwaters, look at this, pouring into the stations like this one in Hoboken, just across the Hudson River from Manhattan. Officials here in New York say it could be 4 or 5 days at least before the subways are up and running at any level. Here's a look at some of the underground flooding. 4.3 million people a day use these subways. Mayor Mike Bloomberg in New York says it's the worst damage to the subway system in its 108-year history. And in Queens, New York, one man says it was the devil's night. Would you look at this? A fire pushed by those devastating winds, destroying home after home after home. 80 homes in one working-class neighborhood at the shore. Investigators say Sandy's winds kept the flames raging for hours. Firefighters, most of them couldn't get there, wading through the floodwaters, just trying to rescue people. More on that in a moment. I mentioned the damage goes all the way to Michigan. Look at these waves. This is no ocean. This is Lake Michigan in Chicago. Officials are telling people to stay away from the water, and they've shut down parts of Lakeshore Drive. And with the big picture now, Steam Fox coverage of the enormous storm, beginning with Craig Boswell in Absecon, New Jersey, just outside Atlantic City. What's it like there now?
Shep, good evening to you. We're, like you said, on the edge of Atlantic City. Families trying to get in to check out the damage to their homes are being turned away. Let me pan over and show you what's going on. State police had the roads blocked going into Atlantic City. They say they're going to open them tomorrow, but right now families driving in are being turned away. Talked to one lady, just wants to get in, check out her home, see what may have happened. Another gentleman who couldn't get into a hotel room because many of the casinos that you see behind me have booked these hotel rooms for their employees, had nowhere else to go. Actually went to a U-Haul place, rented a U-Haul truck, and is sleeping in this parking lot where we are now for the evening until he can get back into his home and see what remains. Some 80,000 people just in this area without power, some 2.5 million people statewide. And Shep, this is becoming a very, very cold night. Temperatures are dropping fast. And the governor said today it's likely 7 to 8 days or longer before power is restored. Shep.
Yeah, looking at the aerial pictures from there, I want to keep looking at those from Atlantic City. Some back and forth between the mayor of Atlantic City and the governor, Chris Christie.
Right, kind of dust up there. Governor Chris Christie basically saying that the mayor of Atlantic City, Mayor Langford, didn't take the evacuation notices seriously and put his people in harm's way. The mayor pushing back on that today, saying that the governor is misinformed. Both of these guys really don't mince words. Here's a little bit of what both had to say.
I'm disappointed that that order wasn't completely complied with, and I have great sympathy and concern for the folks who are still trapped in Atlantic City.
It's better to have options and not need them than to need options and not have them. And so we had a contingency plan.
Spoke to a couple of families here today being turned away who were talking about that very dust-up, saying they want both of these elected officials to get over it. They said, a quote, they want them to grow up and focus on fixing the problems at hand. Shep.
Craig Boswell, Absecon, just outside Atlantic City, New Jersey. Craig.